And welcome to our video sit-down for the primary election in 2013. I'm Diedrich Allen. Off camera, on camera, is Richard Knight. He's a candidate for Mason County Fire District 5, Commissioner position number 3. And Richard, first, take a couple of minutes to briefly tell everybody about who you are, why you're running, give us your background, and why you think you're the best person for the job.
That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful.
Well, first I want to thank you for this opportunity. I hope the voters take the time to view it. My family moved here into Allen in 1943. My stepfather worked in the shipyard. I went to grade school here and then after that in Shelton, and high school through junior high and high school in Shelton. I actually graduated from Bremerton High School because I completed my education at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard as a shipfitter apprentice. I completed that and went on to Olympic College and got an associate's degree in business administration. And I helped form the fire department, which was then, it was then known as Allen Victor Volunteer Fire Department in 1953. I served as the first maintenance captain, and in I got to watch my dates here, but in 1956, the volunteers elected me to be the chief for the department, and late in the year, and so early in '57, the commissioners gave me that appointment as a volunteer. And 1979, the commissioners offered me the opportunity to become the first paid chief for the district. I had a long and I think successful career, a lot of experience, gained some knowledge, and I think that kind of leads into where I'm going with why I'm filing for running for commissioner is experience and knowledge and commitment. I think maybe I can help the district with some really tough decisions, some tough financial decisions. So I think that's my primary motive in running. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of tough financial decisions, the fire district's apparatus are aging and in need of replacement. The voters turned down a tax increase to purchase needed replacement vehicles. How would you propose getting the necessary funds to rectify the problem, and would you go back to voters for a tax increase?
Well, there's a conditional yes. I think a reasonable proposition to the voters, well planned. Of course, something the voters thought they could afford, which is pretty tough in today's economy. I certainly wouldn't propose replacing the whole fleet, maybe a few select pieces of equipment. I also am aware that there's a really good market out there in excellent used equipment, which could help in that process. We could upgrade the fleet a great deal off of used equipment and some selected new equipment. So I guess that's my conditional yes.
Okay. Do you support the district asking voters for a property tax levy lid lift in order to maintain service? Are there other ways to balance the district's budget? If cuts in service were necessary, what areas of the districts should not see cuts?
Well, that's actually at least three questions.
Three questions, but they're kind of tied together. So you want to take them one at a time? Go
ahead.
Okay,
one at a time.
So do you support the levy lid lift?
Yes. And there again, I'd like to qualify that. The district right now is at about $1.37, and the state law allows a fire district to go to $1.50, and the district is asking for $1.47, which is a modest increase, about 10 cents per thousand. Costs the average homeowner $10, $20, $25 a year. And it's go a long ways towards solving some of the district's financial issues. But I think together with that, probably just as important, or maybe more important, is to cut spending or control spending. revenue alone won't solve the financial problems of the district. With the 1% tax limit that the voters voted in, along with that went a responsibility, I guess, to go to the voters and ask for tax increases when they seem to be necessary. So I guess that's my qualified yes on the lid lift, with a lot of emphasis on controlling spending.
So
Get the spending under control.
So controlling spending is your way of balancing the district's budget?
Yeah, because the lid lift, the tax increase alone, will not solve the financial issues that the district faces.
Okay, let's talk about cuts in service. What should not be cut?
Well, I've been out of the business for a couple of years. I've paid attention to the financial issues, but I haven't been involved in operational issues. I would look to the fire chief to get some strong recommendations, and I would look to the commission as a whole, not just me, to try to find those answers. But it has to be done, and like I say, I would want to work with the other commissioners to find a plan. It's not something that one commissioner is going to solve.
Now, how do you feel about the district now being headquartered in Shelton, technically outside the boundaries of the fire district?
Well, let me start. The station in Shelton, I was involved in some of the design work on that, not as an architect, but as a consulting fire chief with Chief Giglione of the Shelton Fire Department. And the intent there, as we saw it, was to use that as a residential firefighter training facility. I would think that there must be some method developed to move the headquarters of the fire district back into the fire district. Not just because that the headquarters needs to be in the district. I guess the headquarters could be any place, but to move responding resources out into the district instead of concentrated in Shelton. You could rent an office facility just about any place to run a headquarters. But I think it's been an error to concentrate those responding resources all in one place, any place in the district. That's, I guess, as close to an answer as I could put together.
Okay, would you be willing to approve a councilmanic bonds, not voter-approved bonds, to construct a new headquarters somewhere in the district?
Well, I'm sort of an either-or guy sometimes, okay? I think commissioner bonds, what we used to call coupon warrants, but commissioner's bonds are appropriate in many cases. I don't believe the commissioner's bonds, if feasible for that purpose, to build a headquarters. It's too much money, and the district would not have the money to pay back those bonds. Not under the present circumstances of the finances and the revenues and the spending. Okay, so I guess the answer is no, not because I'm opposed to commissioner bonds, but I just don't think it's financially feasible at this time. Maybe a small investment of that type someplace could help. Maybe a small addition to an existing station someplace. But I'd have to look carefully at the financing question.
Do you believe the fire district should again ask voters to annex the city of Shelton into the fire district?
No.
Any particular reason why?
The existing contract with the city accomplishes almost the same thing. It's a good contract. There's always room for improvement. I think the voters were clear in both the fire district and the city that they were not in favor of that, at least not at this time. Maybe in the future they might see it different. So the answer is no, but it's a good contract.
So my last question for you, Richard, is how important is it to continue funding a fire marshal? And should that responsibility solely fall on Central Mason Fire?
Well, that was an interesting question because the city actually contributes in $50,000 a year towards the fire marshal. The theory being that the fire marshal does other things besides just fire marshaling in the city. So the city pays $50,000 for his fire marshal services in the city, and the rest of his pay is for his services out in the fire district and responding on fire calls and providing command services as a chief officer. That agreement or that portion of the contract certainly could be readdressed with the city. City, possibly 50,000 isn't the right number. That might help with the receipt, with the revenues. But it's actually a pretty small item out of a five some million dollar budget. So it also built bridges, I think, or helped build bridges between the fire district and the county, because actually they share that with the county. And I wasn't involved in the final negotiations on that relationship, so I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know the finances of that.
Okay, fair enough. Richard Knight, candidate for Mason County Fire District 5 Commissioner, position number 3. Thanks for taking some time.
Thanks for having me.